everybody, I'm Daisy, and this is Fantasy Gamer. Today I'm going to play a game called Hidden Treasures. This is currently a demo and it's been made by my friend Gabe. I'll link him down below. So, this game is a dating simulator. I've already played it, so I do know what's going to happen. And it is just a demo. There is currently no saving system in place. However, Gabe did say that he's going to be working on that. Apparently, saving is a really hard thing to implement. So, demo version 1. Welcome to Hidden Treasures, a tabletop adventure-inspired visual novel, not to mention dating adventure. There are all sorts of experiences in the fantasy world. Orcs and Oni, dragons and doppelgangers, trolls and player trolls. You get the idea. You've gone on an assortment of dates, but this time they're going to be a little different. Goblins. Monstrous creatures known to be grotesque, small, greedy, and mischievous. Often they're nothing but a minor inconvenience in the life of an adventuring party. But in great numbers, they can be extremely dangerous. Ooh. Although here, that isn't the case. Let's begin. Also, I have to say, I love the backgrounds used in this game, and the music is also amazing. I don't know who the artist is, but they've done a really great job. And the character art is beautiful too. It is a sweet morning of spring. The smell of flowers is strong in the air. A call to arms has been made and dozens of individuals are making their way to the town square. There are hunters, warriors, rangers, mages, and all other sorts arriving at the central point. Many of them have taken up the call for the promise of gold. Others for the promise of glory. As you arrive, you still see many making their way in this direction. For a while, there's a general muttering and chatter that goes on and on until a voice calls out.
I have called many of you here today to help purge a problem that has been rising on the outskirts of our city for weeks now. Some of you have come from nearby, and I know that many of you have come from afar. The House of Alphavine calls upon many this day for you to defeat the creatures. It seems to be that rogue tribes of lizard folk have organized themselves and are fighting in a relentless manner. They seem to be using sneak tactics and ambushing caravans along the roads. Previously, there have been no issues. They've resided in the swamps for so long, and yet many of them are lashing out now and attack without warning and without question. Those who have approached them have said they have a darkness in their eyes. Although, we do not know what that darkness is. Whatever it is that has possessed these creatures, they must be stopped. I see some of you standing here, who may be of that origin and descent, and I implore you that if we had been able to take peace as an option, we would have done so. The last peace group that we had sent there came back with only 1 out of the 8 that we had sent. You will be separated into specific groups, into specific squadrons. Multiple squadrons will attack in tandem, and we will function as a unified force. Are there any questions?
My question is why some of the dialogue down here doesn't match the dialogue I hear. Okay, any questions? Have you tried asking nicely? Is there a leader? There's been no sight of a leader, but I wouldn't count it out. The tribes in this area are known to follow a council sort of authority. This means there may be multiple leaders, but it is still unconfirmed. How many have they killed? Because I think that's an important question to ask. Like, if you're doing a call to arms, you have to have a good reason. So far, we have lost 16 hired fighters due to underestimating their strength. With that in mind, we've taken measures in bringing on you all. on you all. The number, though, does not include the number of citizens who have been injured or slain. That number is much higher. Okay, good reason. What are they armed with? What is the reward? No more questions. No questions. Good. Then I'll leave you to make sure you're prepared. They head into the crowd and look to be checking in with a different group. At this point, many around you start to sharpen their weapons, dust off their books, and test their arrows. It never hurts to be prepared. You should make sure you're prepared. That reminds me though, what class are you? I'm a ranger. Every game I play, I'm always a ranger. I love rangers. I blame the Hunger Games. Yes, I'm sure I want to be a ranger. It seems the majority of fighters are finally here. With a quick gaze, you estimate 30, maybe 40, and ready and available combatants. At this point, many individuals similarly dressed to the original speaker start to call out names. Your name is called out. What is your name? I'll go by Daisy. That's my internet name. Ah, that's right, of course. That is your name, correct? Yeah. Daisy the Ranger. I'm sure you'll be I will not be remembered. I will die a horrible death. Hopefully while you're alive. That's not meant to be ominous foreshadowing. Daisy! They call out your name once more. A few other names are said with yours, and you can assume those are the members of your group. With a quick glance, you look over the other members and hear them chatting about something. Are they chatting about the beautiful architecture? Because I am. For those of you who don't know, I really do like architecture. It's one of my hobbies. And I'm weird in that way. Oh shoot, I missed something. This is really hard to read. Note to Gabe, if you're watching this, you need to make this darker. Something took over the other members, and I can hear them chatting about something. You're wrong, just undead. Lizard folks, I heard it was kobolds too. Okay. You're wrong, I heard they were undead lizard folk. Lost creatures, angry, and full of regret. Lost creature. What? Oh, sorry. I'll bleep that out. Lost creatures, angry and full of regret. I bet they've got a were-turtle. Oh, what? A damned creature. The were-turtle. Oh, you're so full of. You won't be taunting when it locks down on you and slams you to the ground. When you're pinned and in pain screaming, and there's not a thing you can do. The force it uses crushes your arm and you're stuck. You struggle only to get whipped around and defeated. Nearly impenetrable body armor. There's 8,000 kilopounds of turtle power in that jaw. Oh. Yeah, this is gonna be that kind of game. They continue on for a few more minutes, and then the speaker who called your name walks up to you. You are Group Z. You'll target the swarm by coming down from the east side behind Group 1, Group 2 following beside you. Prepare your magic, sharpen your blades, and get yourself ready. Again, you are Daisy the Ranger. Do you want to change your name or class at all? I am all set. You step onto a cart when everyone else has mounted up. You all set off. That's a really stringy sentence. From the cart to your right, you can hear a voice. It's so beautiful! Oh, I love this voice. The voice speaks in another language. It sounds Elvish but different. Elvish adjacent almost. Isn't there like an evil Elvish language in Lord of the Rings? Let's go with that. There's a reverb to the voice that seems almost unnatural.
Boy, haven't heard that tune in a while.
Beautiful.
It's a sad song, yeah?
In it.
Most don't know the context. I've heard some say it's about tragedy. Others say it's about love. From what I pick up, it's a bit of both.
Just as is life.
See, that's broken Sylvan speech, with a tad drow touched in there. I always thought it was a bit of both. Love can lead to tragedy, can't it?
Romeo and Juliet. A stranger seems to nod off. Okay, so funny thing about this stranger, when I first played this game, I was texting Gabe like crazy, and I'm like, is the stranger dateable? Is the architecture dateable? Like, I was joking around with it so much, but I think Stranger is one of my favorite non-playable characters. He's so beautiful. About an hour passes before you hear a voice shout, "We have arrived! We dismount here, and then each squadron will separate and go to their specific locations. May the blessings of the old and new look over us all today." Everyone steps off the carts, and you can see many share glances with others before splitting off. Some clasps arms. Some share tight embraces. Some share only a nod. As you wait atop the hill with your companions, a breeze sweeps through. The grass sways, the trees shake, and for moments there's only just silence. The squadron captain walks up in the center of you all and shares a battle plan. "We are the Helms. We will come into the fray last. We were named this because our battalion has the largest number of heavily armed figures. The bookkeepers will come up the road first. Their numbers are majority spellcasters. They'll turn into the clearing where the enemy should appear and will lead the assault firing out era of attack magic. Firing out area of attack. Okay. It must be done early on so not to hit our friendly targets. At that moment, the gloves shall come out of their hiding spot in the trees and come up from the south, making a pincer attack. At this point, they will probably move to annihilate our magic users, but by that time we will already be making our way down into the fray to seal the majority that are left. That is the plan." In the distance to the south, you can see the large group known as the Bookkeepers, making their way north up the road. Their timing is impeccable. Finally, you see it. The large force of lizard folk making their way from the west towards the clearing they were expected. Someone in your group pulls out a spyglass and stands on a large rock nearby. "I see spearmen, also archers. They are... Captain, they are lizard folk, but they're skeletons." The squad captain, the one who went over the battle plans, grips their weapon tight and dons their helmet. "Then hold no regrets and give no quarter. We give them peace." "Oh, by the great forest." That's a weird saying. I like it, though. You hear heavy stomping. Multiple heavy stomps. At the tree line, you see a large figure appear. Is it a were-turtle? 2, 3 lizard folk skeletons walk out, but they're humongous. compared to the small figures of others. This changes nothing. Helm Squadron, form up. You all gather together closely. Did the second squadron grow? Oh. Gigantic skeletons moving next to the other in a positioning almost an ascending position, with one kneeling, one squatting, and one standing at full height. Okay. An explosion booms and a gust of wind is blown in your direction. Then another and another. You can see a dozen small explosions taking place in the clearing. The bookkeepers are engaging the enemy. Fireballs are flung. Bolts of lightning strike through the skeletal creatures and send their bones flying in all directions. Small controlled tornadoes are set off and blow many of the creatures up into the air. The large behemoths do not move and stand frozen in place. The battle has begun. With swift action, you can see what can only be the Glove Squadron. Many individuals in camouflage emerge from the trees and sprint up from behind the monstrous horde. Arrows fly up from both forces. Helm Squadron, forward! Blade in hand, the squad captain leaps off the rock they stood on and charges down the hill. All those at your side, in front of you, and behind all follow. It all begins here. On the battlefield, you attack relentlessly. The enemy forces outnumber yours by double, but they have significantly less will. Your health is 100. Heck. It seems like many of the creatures are actually fighting defensively, but there is a distinct advantage leaning on your side for the first minute of combat that passes. Suddenly, the ground beneath your feet starts to shake. You see tremendous amounts of earth start to lift up and hover towards the towering skeletal creatures that haven't moved. That finally changes and they start to shift. The one that kneels puts up their arms at an angle, and the hovering earth starts to form a solid slope of earth that rests against their hands. Slowly, larger and larger pieces form and sit atop of the skeletal creatures. They create an upwards hill with the giants as pillars. Your captain calls out, only 30 or so steps from you. There, spellcasters! In the direction they point, you can see a ring of lizard folk. This time, though, they aren't skeletons. They wear hoods and are holding glowing staves. They're in a circle around a figure cloaked in shadow, smoke coming from below their gaze. Necromancers. When you look at the figure, you meet their stare and a chill of dread sweeps over you. Focus on the spellcasters. They're channeling and altering the field. Stop them, and it is likely that the skeletons go down with them. You, Daisy, go. I will follow behind. That's me. I'm gonna charge forward. You sprint ahead, and you have very little issue dealing with the skeletons around you. What if someone was a sympathizer? Didn't do it. A piercing arrow sends a skeleton's head backwards, and the body falls in front of you. Dodge. Deflect. Shoot! You leap over the remaining bones and keep going forward, but you see an enemy charging you from your right. One of the skeletons pops out on your right. You react. I'll dodge. No time to attack, you dodge as well as you can. Your total for this dexterity check is 15. Success. It's helpful because I'm a ranger and I have extra dexterity. The attack comes from in the form of a thrust, but you rotate with the graceful timing and avoid it. The path ahead of you is momentarily clear, and this is your moment. It's my moment. Well done. Pushing through the crowd isn't terribly difficult. Your attacks prove effective. That's when you see it. The spellcasters seem to finish arranging their earthen bridge, and just in time for the sky to turn dark. I love these backgrounds so much. Then flashes of colors start to streak across. Blues, reds, pinks, greens. It looks like a beautiful mosaic painting in the sky that is blending and flowing like water. The Northern Lights. The group of spellcasters with the shadowy figure in the center start making their way towards the ramp. You are between them and what seems to be their objective. 3 out of the 7 casters have fallen. Slash! The squad captain comes up on their side and unleashes a hefty swing, cutting down another instantly. Without skipping a beat, the captain takes another step and pivots to push himself forward at the shadowy figure. They bring their sword upwards and then swing down with a force that you would swear felt like slices through the wind itself. The blade hit something hard, and you notice the shadowy figure had raised their arm. The arm has almost a miasma floating off of it. The squad captain doesn't skip a beat and pushes back just in time to avoid their target's swing down. A clawed hand that smashes into the ground and leaves a smoldering small crater. No time to hesitate, one of the spellcasters flings a fireball at you. How do you react? There should be a timer here. The fireball is speeding towards you, but you attempt to roll out of the way. Dexterity 17. The fireball is no problem and you evade the blast with ease. You seem like you're getting better at this. While they were distracted with you, an arrow hits fireball caster directly in the chest. Following the direction the shot came from, you can see the scout from your squadron. Behind them there's an enemy spearman charging towards them, but they wave you forward. You are closing in on the captain, caught in battle with the shade. Wait. Does the spearman wave me forward? An armored knight comes up from behind the dueling pair and swings down a mace. Without even turning, the shadow reaches back and grabs them by the neck, snapping it and tossing them like a rag doll. Spooky. All around you, the battle is shifting in your favor. The skeletons may have been vast in number, but they are not a trained fighting force. The spellcasters seem to have finished placing the earth on their improvised giant ramp, and now turn their focus to eliminating threats. Boom! The crack of thunder breaks out, as the swirls above start to storm and shift like rapids. It is a beautiful sight. It looks like a sunny day. Another rush of immense heat hits you. Against the beautiful swirls in the sky, you see multiple fireballs flying overhead and then all collide directly with the shaded figure. Thanks, spellcasters. Much of the fighting comes to a pause. There is a massive smoke cloud that surrounds where the figure stood. At that moment, you hear a bellowing roar. A large, dark, and bestial hand reaches out of the smoke and slams to the ground. A second roar bursts out, but this time the smoke is blown away, and all that's left is a large dragon. It's so pretty! I want to pet it. I need an option to pet it. The body seems to be smoking, but the smoke dances around them. In this moment, the skeletons stop moving. The lizard folk spellcasters stop chanting. The allied forces pause and look upon this creature in awe, fear, and bewilderment. Another scorching feeling comes across you, and you turn to your left to see a line of black and green flames that have scorched both living and undead alike. It's a baby. I love it. I feel very much like Charlie Weasley. I'm petting it with my mouse. It came without warning, but the dragon annihilated dozens in an instant. It's talented. The skeletons go back to fighting. The soldiers are fighting back even harder. Many of them head towards the dragon itself, your captain included. A swing at the tail, the arms, and the neck. Spells collide from all sides. Arrows hit the skin, half of them piercing. The dragon retaliates by whipping their tail, swinging their claws, and slamming their jaws. It makes an open-mouthed dive forward, heading towards the captain. I'll aim for the eye, because my captain's cool, but I feel bad about it. A blinding light appears in the sky, and you have to look away. With the flash, the terrifying creature seems to just ever so slightly veer off the path and miss their target. A large green spear appears. It floats in the air directly at the peak of the earthen ramp. The sound of lightning erupts, and you see multiple bursts of lightning fall from the sky and connect a draconic monster. Then a huge bolt of electricity strikes, and the creature screams out. The fighting intensifies. A large focus has been put on the dragon, and it definitely notices. It starts moving towards the ramp, but looks injured. Now is the time for action. The beast tries to use its wings to raise its body off the ground, but seems the injuries have seriously wounded it. As you move in with the others to try to slay this weakened monster, it spins around in a wide circle and blows everyone back. You roll a bit, but get back on your feet. Get back up to your feet in time to see it charging in your direction. You've only got a couple options with the speed it's going. I've got higher dexterity. This monster's charging in your direction like a wild animal. You shake a bit as the earth trembles. Now is the time to dodge. Your total for this dexterity check is 16. Success. In a true display of dexterity, you're watching the timing of the dragon's movements and move with them. Wait. That should be you watch the timing. It requires some skill, but you manage to move the opposite direction, avoiding the rampaging beast. Before you realize you're partially up the ramp, it is charging up. You're about halfway up when you see it hurling in your direction. A large fireball is speeding towards the dragon and you. We die together. It hits within seconds, and the force sends you flying directly up the ramp. Your body is heavy and weak. Somehow that hit knocked more than the wind out of you. You're still flying. Time is moving slowly, but you see the eyes of the dragon looking directly at you until you're pulled in directly into the spear. Welp. Looks like space. It reminds me of Spore, which is an old EA game. Around you there's a blend of colors. Bright greens and deep blues. Pink soft and cool. Red harsh and wild. Orange warm and sweet. Yellow, mellow. I love this writing. It reminds me so much of Gabe. I wonder why. Maybe because he wrote it? Yeah, mellow. The swirls of colors remind you of the display you saw across the sky. You can see another color, although this one has shape. The smoldering shadow dragon is flying in your direction in this void. It's approaching fast, but it doesn't seem like it is moving consciously. The eyes are closed. There's a bright light behind you. As you turn your head, there's a flash! Gasp! You see a soft blue ocean. A sky of white. Wait a moment. I'm falling! Your world is upside down, and you're falling. There's a flash of what looks like a forest below you as you pass through the clouds. It's the Himalayas! You try to move, you try to do something, anything, but your body won't respond. There's a faint sound of music in the far distance. Groovy. It makes the fall seem slow. From falling almost feels like a warm embrace. A warm embrace while falling out of the sky. Ironic, huh? Well, there's less air to combat the sunlight, so I guess that makes it warmer, even though it's apparently cooler up in the... I don't know. Science. The wind is rushing against your body as you break through the clouds. You'd come out of this with a large sunburn. Even still, you close your eyes and drift off. You'd just be covered in red. There'd be a huge sunburn. Your eyelids feel heavy. Through the darkness, you can hear voices. And I'm going to stop here for today. I have the opportunity of just closing it out and never turning off my computer, or coming back to this later. But I will continue from here in the next episode. So thank you for watching Fantasy Geek Gaming, and bye-bye!